Welcome to another edition of The Daily. I'm Samantha Eric here with Greg Lawless, and yesterday began our 24 under 24 presented by Adidas. That is the top 24 players under 24 in MLS as voted by our very own editors and the media. And yesterday we released our first four. Greg, who were they?
Well, you start at 24 with Jonathan Osorio, a young player from Toronto FC who's really shown very well, followed by Dylan Powers from Colorado, Perry Kitchen from DC United, who's dropped since last year. I have some issues with that, but we can get to that at another day. And Matthias Laba from Toronto, another new player up at BMO Field, who's had a great season until he got injured midway through.
Well, today we released our next five on 24 under 24. Starting off the list is Deshaun Brown of the Colorado Rapids.
And it's amazing considering this is our fourth year doing this, and in the first 3 years, not a single player from Colorado made it, although probably Martin Rivero deserved to be on there last year. Now, two Colorado players already on the list. Coming in at number 19, RSL's Olmes Garcia, followed by DC United's Bill Hamid. But after that, Gershon Kofi from the Vancouver Whitecaps, and finally, Andrew Jean-Baptiste from the Portland Timbers, who, if you had told me a year ago that he would be on the 24 under 24, I don't think anybody would have believed you. I certainly would have, but he's done very well stepping in after some injuries, really, for the Timbers, and Caleb Porter has found a player that could be the whatever they're called, the foundation of that back line for many years to come.
So overall, how is this list shaping out for you?
Well, I think right now you're seeing some new players coming in, which obviously with young players, some of them graduate out of this. It's kind of like Menudo or New Edition that way, that you're going to graduate out of this group. But I think you're starting to see some new players that maybe weren't predicted to ever show up in something like this. Dylan Powers is certainly a player that I don't think people would have said when he was drafted he was going to be starting for the Rapids. Even the Rapids themselves say he wasn't going to be starting, but he's done so well. He deserves to be in there. That's been impressive right there. And again, I said this about Jean-Baptiste, a guy I don't think would have made the list a year ago and certainly wouldn't have even been in the conversation, but had a terrific season for Portland.
All right, well, be sure to stay tuned to MLSsoccer.com for the final 15 coming out the rest of this week. Well, CONCACAF Champions League is back in action tonight for Major League Soccer team Sporting Kansas City hosting Real Esteli, who they've already beaten in this group, and Sporting Kansas City sits at top of the group. How do you feel about this game?
I think that Sporting Kansas City should feel great about this. Real Esteli come in with no points in the group. Sporting 2 wins out of 2 matches so far in group play. Really, 1 win and they're already through. A draw, and for all intents and purposes, they are through. So I think you're playing at home. Go out, get the 3 points, get it done. You don't have to worry about the 4th game as much, and you're through to the knockout stages.
And Kansas City hasn't played since September 7th. They're rested, they're going to be fresh, and Peter Vermees saying he's not holding anything back.
Well, he's not holding anything back, but I could also see a couple of players who maybe aren't getting as many minutes, getting some time in this one. I would love to see Dom Dwyer out there and see what he can do. He's obviously got all the confidence from his loan down to Orlando City. But you also think maybe give some of the guys who have been traveling, the guys from national team, Graham Zusi when he was gone, give him a little bit more of a rest. At the same time, you want to keep them sharp because league play is right around the corner again. But this one, I think easy. You go out, you get 3 points, you're done.
You can catch that game tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox Soccer Plus. The second game of the night, San Jose Earthquakes hosting Montreal Impact. And Greg, as you said yesterday, these teams did not have the best weekends. What does this game tonight mean for them in this group stage, and who has the edge? Well,
look, Montreal coming off that loss at home to Columbus when they had the lead. They're not going to be happy about that. Now they have to travel all the way across the country, or across the continent, I should say, to take on San Jose. The Earthquakes, with that 0-0 draw at home to Vancouver, right now the Earthquakes are in trouble in this group. No points from 2 games. They need to get a win here if they're going to have any chance of catching up and getting through out of this group. For Montreal, it's the same thing. They're in second place with 3 points. They're 3 points behind Heredia of Guatemala. So they need a victory to stay in the race here, to keep pace with Heredia. And then they get down to their final game, and that will be the determiner, I think, for Montreal. In this case, maybe even San Jose already out of this, unless they get 3 points. If they get 3 points, they're still in it. But if not, they're definitely out of this. So maybe Mark Watson looks at this and says, I can get some guys some playing time. I can get my starters some rest. so that they can be ready for the league. Right now, if San Jose wants to make a move in the league, they need to start getting points. So maybe for him, it's the league play that matters most, and he's not even going to worry about CCL.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens tonight, and you can catch that game at 10 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 2. All right, well, Greg, it's Tuesday. You know what that means. It's Castrol Index time. Take it away.
All right, well, the top 5 performers from this week coming in. Robbie Keane coming in at second, just behind Marco Di Vaio. I'm not sure if I would have actually done that. They both got goals, but I thought that Keane was a little bit better. That's the way it goes with the numbers. Donovan Ricketts from the Portland Timbers coming in at number 3. Mike McGee from Chicago at 4, and Lamar Nagel from at number 5. We very often seen goalkeepers actually do pretty well, but in this case, it's 4 forwards. All of them got goals this week, and I think that's sort of the way it should be. Goals are what matter most. They are the precious gem of this game. But Donovan Ricketts still in there at number 3.
Well, speaking of goals, goal of the week came out yesterday. What was your favorite goal from the weekend?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that I'm going to go with the Obafemi Martins goal from Seattle. I think that they worked it very well. He was involved in the play before he ever got into the goal. He set it up almost for himself, then gets that cross and a nice golazo hit at the end.
Well, be sure to vote for AT&T's Goal of the Week on MLSsoccer.com. That's all we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more.
You ready?
We're done.
All done. What do you think?
Great daily.
I thought that was, you know, it was so good it deserves a celebration. That's my best honoree. That's all I can do.